Alô? Mano, esse jogo é muito lindo. Bom, olha isso. Olha fucking isso, véi. Aquilo é um sol. Isso aqui é a lua desse planeta, possível um vulcão. Mano, qual jogo? Peraí, deixa eu ver o nome. The Outer Worlds Spacer's Choice Edition. Ah, minha personagem é a Ramina. Aumentar um pouquinho o campo de visão, colocar um 90. Acho que 90 tá bom. Coloquei modo cinemática, hein? Nossa, o jogo tá rodando a 2 FPS. Mano, olha que lindo, véi. Não dá não, peraí. Tem que ser desempenho. Eu quero isso aqui. Vou colocar uns 40. Opa, melhor. Eu comecei o jogo agora, eu tava criando a minha personagem. Tem um pouquinho de gravidade aqui, eu acho. Quer dizer, gravidade sim em todo lugar. Você entendeu, né? Lagarrato. Que bonitinho. Correr. Por que não ser detectado? Ah, grama alta. Como que abaixo? Ai, tinha esquecido. Que isso?
You see now, you've been frozen for a while. There's bound to be unforeseen side effects.
Meu Deus, o que eu fiz? Eu tô usando um monte de coisa sem querer, né? Agora que eu vi que ele diminuiu os números.
Hey, you, come here.
Do nada
You've
virou
tried the
Road
best
Rock.
now try the rest. Spacer's choice. Oh, wow, that stings. We were out on patrol. I saw a marauder camp up in the hills. Thought I could take him. Then my gun misfired. Right through my side. I mean, what are the odds of that, right? Just barely scraped by with my life. Crawled in here and blocked off the exit with those canisters. Looks like the bleeding stopped. I owe you one. Hope you don't mind me omitting this little exchange from my report. Spacer's Choice doesn't like us accepting outside help. Gibbering, flesh-eating, law-breaking, unemployed lunatics with guns. Some hullhead grounded their spacecraft out in the open. That's a real good way to attract marauders. See those canisters by the entrance? Marauders come sniffing around in here, and I can take them all out with a single shot. Not bad, huh? Yeah, okay. You look like you know your way around a gun. Got some spare ammo, not counting the bullet in my side.
Acho que a pessoa que caiu sou
You
eu.
can have my saber too, for patching me up and all. All Spacer's Choice weapons are now 30% less likely to malfunction. You've tried the best, now try the rest. Spacer's Choice. Yes, nailed it that time. You hit your head or something? You're in Emerald Vale. We're a Spacer's Choice community. Edgewater's a little ways down. Prettiest place in the Vale. Be sure to stop by a provisioner's for a can of our famous salt tuna. The Hope? Is that some sort of fancy new drug? Are you with Auntie Cleo or something? Don't take this the wrong way or nothing, but I'm not allowed to fraternize with Cleo workers. Company policy.
Meu Deus, do nada eu com uma pistola na...
Damn it, my ears! Oh, what just happened? You hear me? What in the... This...
Moço, ressuscita pelo amor de Deus. Senhor. Senhor. Eu... Por que eu só faço merda, cara? Eu achei que não ia dar pra matar ele. Achei que eu só ia dar um tiro de sustinho, saca? Como que eu guardo minha arma? Ah, mano, eu usei o breguete de novo sem querer. Mano, roubar a armadura... Não, acho que eu vou voltar a save, velho. Eu não queria ter matado ele, velho. 9h26, que horas são? 9h27, então é esse aqui. Ah, mano. Eu não queria ter matado ele, é porque... Você pode me dar sua armadura? Pra eu não ter que te matar? Não? Mas eu aceito isso aqui então, tá? Licença. Ah, mano.
Damn it, my ears! What just happened?
Tipo, eu achei que eu atirando, sabe, ia dar só um sustinho. Eu não imaginei que dava realmente pra matar. Complicações na hibernação detectadas. Dilatação temporal tática. Devido às complicações decorrentes de reviver após a hibernação prolongada, seu cérebro processa o tempo de maneira diferente. Apertar o botão de dilatação temporal tática, DTT, desacelera o mundo, dando a você tempo para pensar e agir. Oh, que foda, hein? Esse modo tem um tempo limitado. Ficar imóvel drena seu medidor de DDT muito lentamente, enquanto o movimento e ataques fazem com que ele esgote mais rápido. O medidor de DDT é reabastecido com o tempo. Que isso? Toma. Ah, tá, legal. Suas habilidades de hacking em Gaswo roubou a skill do Hanzo? Ah, lhe ajudam a chegar em lugares onde não deveriam estar. Gazuas, sei lá, magnéticas são usadas para arrombar cadeados e desvio de bypass. São usados para quebrar a criptografia de computadores. Caso sua habilidade seja alta o suficiente para violar a segurança, você verá a quantidade de gasos magnéticas ou desvios de que precisa e quanto tempo levará. Aumentar sua habilidade diminuirá o número de itens roubados e acelerará o processo. Não entendi nada. Arma branca. Como eu vejo o meu... Treinamento de segurança com armas TL. Gerenciamento de armas. É possível ter até 4 armas equipadas ao mesmo tempo, navegando até a arma e selecionando o espaço para a arma no topo da tela. Nessa página você também pode inspecionar suas armas, compará-las, marcá-las como lixo ou desmontá-la para coletar peças. Jogadores com a habilidade de engenharia também podem consertar armas nessa tela. Ó, esse daqui, armas brancas de uma mão. Eu dou mais dano com arma de 2 mãos, infelizmente. Gerenciamento de armadura. Para vestir um item de armadura, o capacete navega até o item selecione. Você também pode gerenciar suas armaduras aqui, lá na blá blá blá. Ok, o que a gente já sabe, né? Armadura 4, armadura 3, leve, habilidade de futilidade mais 5, habilidade de tecnologia mais 5, peso 2,5, peso 2,5. A condição da minha tá melhor, o valor da venda é maior também. Aí eu vou colocar ela. Eu queria saber guardar minha arma. Lixeira. O que é lixo aqui? Água sem oxigênio ou hidrogênio. Bebida açucarada. Atributos do corpo. Não sei o que isso faz. Bom. Eu queria saber guardar minha... Queria saber guardar minha arma.
huh?
Não tinha outro?
You scared?
Hey! Get over here before you get yourself killed! Don't know where you came from, stranger, but you best keep your head down. There's marauders hereabouts, and worse, landing violators. Gall on that rung leech. Landing in the Vale without using an official Spacer's Choice landing pad. I'd slap him with a fine if it weren't for all these marauders shambling about.
Já lidei com um desses saqueadores, não me impressionaram.
I mean, yeah, of course. Marauders. Bunch of addle-brained derelicts. I could round them up all by myself. I just, you know, need a couple of winks to catch my breath. Stretch my legs some.
Ah, eu não ligo se ela fazer comigo. O que é pra eu fazer? Não dá pra desligar? Deslizar? Mano, olha que lindo esse jogo, velho. Olha! Ou tá muito perto, ou é enorme, tipo. Ou os dois.
Find you. Kill them. Hiding? You scared?
Vem. Toma.
Come out and play.
Caraca. 110 de DPS. A minha dá quanto? 110. Ah, é a mesma coisa, eu acho. Carne de canídeo. Já vou por isso, tô nem aí. Proteção a mais nunca é demais.
Please be informed that this vessel contains no valuable plunder. All doors are on security lockdown. Nice try, Marauder. Marauder, please be informed the ship has no crew for you to murder.
Eu não quero assassinar ninguém, minha filha. Eu quero roubar. Acho que só vai liberar depois que eu hackear, né? Aqui no centro de controle.
Unauthorized access of spacefaring vessels is a crime. Please submit yourself to the authority. Hello, Marauder. I am Ada, the autonomous digital astrogator of this vessel. Please be informed that I am authorized to use violent retribution against unwanted solicitors. Please return any misappropriated equipment and exit this vessel in an orderly fashion. Failure to do so will result in your immediate destruction. I detect an elevated heart rate, indicating dishonesty. Please prepare yourself for lethal deterrence. Jettison procedures initiated. Disengaging airlocks. Preparing to eject all foreign parties in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You are still here. My deception protocols have failed. I have been programmed to express disappointment. This vessel is the registered property of Captain Alex Hawthorne. I am incapable of accepting orders from anyone other than Captain Alex Hawthorne. I understand. I will require some time to process this information. Thank you for your patience and for your honesty. I am programmed to take orders exclusively from Captain Hawthorne. If I accept your orders, then you must be Captain Hawthorne. Do you understand?
Yes.
Well done, Captain Hawthorne. I see your powers of deductive reasoning remain intact. Unfortunately, our engine is currently inoperable. Our main drive suffered a critical power failure, and we were forced to make an emergency landing. The main drive's power regulator has been irreparably damaged and must be replaced. Astutely observed. However, the probability of locating a power regulator within a worker settlement falls within acceptable parameters of certainty. High-capacity power regulators are sometimes employed in the electrical networks of worker settlements. I have taken the liberty of printing you a new Captain's Identity cartridge. Please try not to lose it this time. This cartridge identifies you, Alex Hawthorne, as the registered proprietor and captain of the Unreliable. Do you understand? Thank you. I appreciate your cooperation. Best of luck in your search for a power regulator. Try to stay alive this time.
Mano, tô gostando desse jogo. Parabéns, você ganhou experiência suficiente para subir de nível. Abra o menu de personagem para avançar seu personagem. Subir de nível aumenta os pontos de vida, dá pontos para melhorar suas habilidades e concede um ponto de talento a cada 2 níveis. Continue subindo de nível e logo você estará à altura da alta gerência. Beleza. Tá legal mesmo? É. Toda vez que você sobe de nível, você ganha um ponto de habilidade para gastar na melhoria das suas habilidades. Gastar pontos de habilidade em uma habilidade base, armas brancas, aumenta o nível de todas as habilidades especializadas do grupo até 50. Após esse nível, é possível adicionar pontos diretamente às habilidades especializadas até 100. Toda habilidade melhora à medida que cresce, mas os bônus especiais de desbloqueio ocorrem a cada 20 pontos. É a descrição de cada habilidade para ver quais são. Armaduras consumíveis e efeitos são de condição podem levar a diminuir temporariamente suas habilidades. Isso ajuda ou prejudica as verificações de habilidades e seus bônus passivos, mas não dá o tiro de desbloqueio de habilidade. Meu Deus. Ah, não, tá bom assim, né? Tá, eu vou alterar depois. Peraí, personagem. Eu tenho 10. Vou colocar uma aqui, uma aqui, uma aqui, uma aqui, uma aqui, uma aqui e uma aqui. Aí eu coloco mais uma aqui e mais uma aqui. Pronto. Você ficou mais saudável no seu tempo fora do êxtase. Cara, é sempre recomendado vida. Eita! Ai, merda, não sabia que eu tinha mais outros. Ah, tá, mas eu. Vida. Ah, depois eu leio isso se precisar. Qual é a minha missão?
What can I do for you, Captain? Goodbye.
Tá, então agora é minha essa nave, né? Agora eu já posso roubar ela, então.
Due to catastrophic power failure, all doors will remain on security lockdown.
Ah. Ok.
These are the crew's quarters. Alex preferred to travel alone, but he always had me. These surveillance devices allow me to monitor you constantly. Please ignore them. The ship's engines cannot be powered until a replacement regulator has been properly installed. If your equipment is in need of repair or modification, the Crux 2000 workbench is at your disposal, Captain.
Peraí que eu não explorei outra parte ali. Ah, tá fechado.
Say, this wouldn't happen to be your ship, would it? Because you sure walked in it like it was your ship. And if this ship is yours, well, ma'am, you owe Spacer's Choice a hefty fine. Afraid we gotta dock your pay. I'll waive your fee since you helped us with those marauders. If you're looking for work, talk to the constable down at Edgewater. She's got a bounty on marauders. Edgewater's not too far. Just follow the road east of here, over past the cemetery. Now, if you'll excuse me, I need to inspect the crime scene before I make my report.
Eu não vou atacar ela por motivo besta, assim, né? Multa. Mano, mas olha o tamanho da minha nave. Eu só queria saber guardar minha arma. Mano, que jogo lindo. Olha! Mano, será que existe algum planeta que seja habitável desse jeito pro ser humano? Porque eu sou um ser humano, no caso, né? Esses caras, eles são daqui mesmo. Que seja habitável pra gente. Tipo, não é impossível, sabe? Mas lindo desse jeito. Olha, olha o anel. O nosso planeta tem um anel, ó. Muito lindo. Com certeza existe, sim.
Whoa, hey, where'd you come from?
Earth.
Running around in a marauder's attire. You're liable to give some people the wrong idea. You talk too pretty for a marauder. Most of them just grunt and yell. Ain't safe out here. You'd best head into town. Avail yourself of Edgewater's high walls. And
Que da hora.
low prices.
Mano.
I'm being vigilant. Don't want to get blindsided by some corpse-chewing marauder come stalking out the shadows.
Mano, você viu que eu peguei a roupa de um saqueador e eu coloquei ele e ele falou: "Você tá vestida que nem uma saqueadora." Mano, eu já vi que eu vou gostar muito desse jogo.
Oh, worse. Unemployed cannibals. You ever seen a marauder hold down a job? Or put a stake into society?
Detalhes, exatamente.
Well, if you're gonna go headhunting, talk to Constable Reyes back in town. She pays for marauders by the finger. I am employed by the Retirement Department of Spacer's Choice. That's fancy talk for working in the cemetery. Name's Silas. Junior in humor for the town of Edgewater. We're all part of the Spacer's Choice family.
Agora eu tô com dúvida. Eu não sei se eu minto pra ele falando que eu sou a Rami, ou falando a verdade que eu sou a Ramina, ou se eu minto falando que eu sou a Alex. Se bem que a Ada me deu um cartão de, né, que meu nome é Alex. Se eu mentir e ele pedir meu cartão, ou se eu falar a verdade, meu nome é Ramina, ele pede meu cartão, vai estar escrito Alex. Ele vai falar: "Pô, você tá mentindo." Agora se eu mentir, ele pegar meu cartão e ver que tá escrito Alex, ele vai achar que é verdade, apesar de ser mentira. Paradoxo, né? Que paradoxo.
Hey, I earned that fancy title. Started off a lowly junior gravesite builder, then junior interment engineer. Oh, and I was a junior burial assistant for a time. Yeah? The colony ship? Are you talking about that old rumor? Some great big starship packed full of colonists what got lost in the aether never to be found again? Ain't heard that one since I was but a stripling. Can't say it was terribly convincing, as far as rumors go. There a reason you asking? Hope's just a rumor, friend. Ancient rumor at that. Maybe you've been out in the sun too long. Why don't you head over to the cantina? Get yourself some zero-G brew. It's a brew that's good for what ails you. Look, I don't know what's got you caterwauling about Hope this and Colony that, but you need to stop, or there's gonna be trouble. Trouble's in the asking. Board don't much care for folk running their mouths, spreading hoaxes and the like. Frankly, neither do I. Something I can do for you? Definitely not the junior in humor, that's for sure. If you've got business inquiries, you should stop by Reed Thompson's office. He's up in the tower above the cannery. Head into town, follow the road. Look, you obviously ain't a worker. What's your racket? You a smuggler? Freelancer?
Eu faço o que eu
Got a
quiser.
knack for being discreet like? There's money to be made, long as you keep your nose clean. Edgewater is a company town, board-owned and operated. That includes the cemetery. None of us own our grave sites, we rent them from the company. Renting means money. Money means paperwork. Paperwork means signatures. Some of our families become a mite delinquent in paying their dues, you see? Quotas, mostly. Got a backlog of graves to fill. Bodies won't bury themselves, you know? Four workers still haven't paid up. Phyllis, Conrad, Ludwig, and Martin Abernathy. He's a special case. You may want to twist his arm a little. He just is. Look, I don't want to get into it. Just make sure he pays up. Conrad's got a barbershop in town. Phyllis works at the cannery most hours. Abernathy... I ain't seen him in a few days. His domicile is near the cannery. You'll find him in town. All except Ludwig, that is. He's over by the landing pad. Yeah?
Nada. Onde que é a missão? Não, eu quero... Eu quero essa. Gostei. Mas eu só queria saber guardar minhas facas, véi. Não dá. Tá. Será que dá pra roubar? Será que vão saber que fui eu? Meu Deus. Será que se eu roubar ele vai saber? Acho que é só ele não me ver, né? Eu falei pra ele que eu podia ser uma saqueadora. Não deu bola, é isso que dá. Não me deu bola, é isso que dá.
Spacer's choice takes care of its own.
Mano, olha que lindo, velho. De noite. Mano, e tem outra rua ali, ó. Olha as coisas boreal. Barbearia. Opa, bom.
Merciful law. Is that a marauder's outfit? I don't want you wandering into my shop wearing something you've lifted off a corpse. Please don't touch anything. Your hands are probably crawling with germs. Physical hygiene recapitulates moral hygiene. Cleanliness is next to lawfulness. We don't believe in free anything here in Edgewater. We're a Spacer's Choice company. I'm Conrad. You will report to me if your hair fails to meet Spacer's Choice aesthetic standards. You will also report to me in the event of your death, whereupon I will clean and prepare your remains for interment. A ship? Dear me. You seem to have lost the ability to distinguish between reality and fantasy. This is what happens when you let your imagination run wild.
Nossa, eu vou enfiar uma
I
faca no
don't
pescoço
approve of
dele.
fantasizing. It's a dreadful habit, corrosive to the mental faculties. You ought to let the vicar take a look inside your head. Go ahead. Edgewater has been good to me. I consider myself privileged to work here. I am never wanting for work, not since the plague started. Gravesite fees. Silas and I had talked about this at length. I thought I'd made it clear my pecuniary situation precludes the necessary restitutions. As broke as pie crust, friend. Bidless, indigent, destitute. I simply cannot afford it. I am a blemish on the prosperity of our fair settlement. When I expire, I expect Silas to toss my body into a ditch. Thank you, no. I despise the cereals. Tell Silas I can't afford to pay. And that I fully expect to have my medical rights revoked for this dereliction. With my apologies. Some time ago, I fell ill with the plague. By the grace of the law, and through my own hard work, I'd proven worthy of treatment. Frankly, I don't imagine I'll earn that right a second time. The barber work hasn't been profitable, you see. I've had to keep this old place running with my own savings. Not a bad idea. but I'd need some kind of collateral. My pair of lucky clippers. No, that won't do. Your idea intrigues me, but I'm afraid I don't have anything to give Silas. I'm open to suggestions. Much obliged.
Vou perguntar pra ele se ele quer alguma coisa. Não tem o pé.
Huh? What? I wasn't moving on. Grave digging's a fine profession. Always work to be had, and nary a word of complaint out of your clients. Yeah? Yeah?
Deixa eu ver se
You
ele...
could look at it that, but you... Every now and again, a virulent plague sweeps through our town. That's life on the frontier, I suppose. A body grows accustomed. Hang on, I'm doing some math in my head. 20, 30, carry the one... all my life? Work's been real good to me. Fresh air, exercise. Only problem's the paperwork. Can't get anybody to pay their gravesite fees. Former people, yeah. Marauders been raiding my graves, you see. Hence the armed guards. Flesh-gnawing, marrow-sipping creatures of pure depravity they are. If those marauders swipe any more bodies out of my cemetery, company's gonna dock my pay.
É. Peraí.
You running?
Tá.
What can I do for you? Go ahead. The plague's come at us with a vengeance this year. Lost 6 workers in as many months. I wouldn't call them good workers, mind you. If they were any good, they'd have been treated. Still, it is a shame. Fever, chills, fatigue, aching, vomiting, an excess of phlegm, a tendency towards belly aching. Whatever it may be, I have developed my own palliative. Boiled canid liver and a splash of ethanol. Company policy, friend. We don't have enough medicine to treat all of us, so we treat the best among us. Mr. Thompson's brainchild. Have you met him yet? Thoughtful-looking fellow, stares out of his office most hours. What can I do for you?
Vou ajudar ele com a medicina.
Oh? Am I in the company of a fellow doctor? I am a Spacer's Choice certified surgeon, and if you must know, I can stitch a severed thumb with a 58% chance of avoiding gangrene. What can I do for you?
Nada.
Yes, Mr. Thompson. I'm fine, Mr. Thompson.
Never been healthier. Oh, sweet merciful law. A marauder's in my domicile. There a reason you're running around outfitted like one of those monsters? Did Mr. Thompson send you to put the fear in me? Well, you tell Mr. Thompson I'll be right at my post. Tomorrow. Bright and early tomorrow. Because I'm definitely not plagued. As spry as a spring chicken. That's old Abernathy. You some sort of wandering alienist? Walking into a man's own domicile, pestering him about his mental state? You don't know that. I could have been saying anything. Maybe I said vague. You know how words sound a mite strange when you're sick. Wait, no. Oh, damn it. Okay, listen. Maybe I am feeling a little under the weather, but I swear I'm on the mend. Please, don't tell the constable. And become the town pariah? I'm already the oldest worker in town. I don't need to give them another reason to avoid me. Hey, you're hale and healthy and possibly for hire, ain't ya? I'd do a good turn for an expiring old man. Couple hours out of your day and some light second story work, that's all. There's a cache of anthracillin tucked away in the old community center. Powerful stuff. Stronger than what we got, anyway. I need you to break in, nab that medicine, and bring it back to me. I'll do what I can. I tried medicating myself with adrenatime. Didn't do much for me, as far as I can tell. Anyway, I can't just buy medicine. Distribution of medicine is strictly prohibited to any workers beneath the acceptable margin of health. Company policy. More like the company won't treat me because I'm not healthy enough. You will not find any guards within sight of that old place. Marauders, on the other hand. It is a reality of life in the Vale. Grass is brown, sky is gray, marauders are outside the walls. So you'll do it then? You oblige me with your haste. I think I feel the plague spreading. Oh, Law, it's in my spleen now. I can feel it. Silas knows, doesn't he? That's why he sent you. That's why he wants me to pay up. He knows. Look, I got my gravesite fees right here. See? I'm good for my word. Get me that medicine, and I'll see to your payment.
You're making a mistake working for Abernathy. Excuse me. I'm Esther Blaine, Spacer's Choice Actuary. I overheard your talk with Abernathy. I hope you're not thinking about getting him that medicine. Abernathy is a well-known hypochondriac. Anthracillin is wasted on him. You're better off selling it to me instead. All I'm saying is Abernathy's worked in this town longer than some of us been alive. How do I put this gently? He's got a lot of cobwebs up in his attic. I probably shouldn't tell you. Don't want you implicated for what I'm trying to do. I'm doing right by the town, I'll tell you that much. You bring me that medicine, and I'll see that it goes to the right people. That's all I can ask of you.
Miss Holcomb, I need you to explain this with us. The grease monkey, Argo?
I'm sorry, Mr. Thompson, sir. You asked why it's taking so long to fix. The answer's technical.
Don't apologize. Just try using small words for me. Seems we've got a guest. Really now, Parvati, I do wish you'd spoken up. I do apologize. I was given no forewarning of your arrival, or I might have welcomed you at the gates myself. You were saying, Miss Holcomb.
It's just what Bess needs is a proper refurbish. I can bandage her up and what all, but she's just old. Sorry, I'm sorry. I'll do that.
And I do wish you'd stop referring to our cannery as Bess. Personification of company property is strictly contrary to the Spacer's Choice Code of Conduct.
Ai, que cara
My
chato.
apologies. I am not in the habit of allowing my guests to witness such a row. Now, what can I do for you? I'm Reed Thompson, Outpost Administrator. I must say, wearing a Marauder's outfit is in very poor taste. I do wish you'd show your uniform a little more respect. Of course not. I don't have that kind of luck. Seems I allowed my excitement to run away with my wits. Been a few seasons since we've had a visitor pass through.
Only regulator we got is hooked up to the town transformer. Mr. Thompson ain't liable to be keen on dismantling it.
I beg your pardon. I am most emphatically not keen on any such thing. I can't let you have our power regulator. But I happen to know of another one. And I happen to know exactly how you may retrieve it without frying yourself in the process. My proposition benefits the both of us. Please, hear me out. There's a power regulator in the old botanical lab. It's mostly abandoned, so all that power is being squandered. Go down to the geothermal plant. Reroute power from the botanical district over to us. Once their power's shut down, you can have their regulator and be along on your way. You're the first stranger to wander into town in an age. Scripture tells us that nothing happens without reason. The geothermal plant was built by our owners, Spacer's Choice. Lit up the whole Vale once upon a time. Most of the Vale is now abandoned. All that power is going to waste. I was not entirely sure how to tell you this. The botanical labs are not legally inhabited, but there are people who live there. I am not trying to pull one over on you, friend. You were bound to run into them sooner or later. The people living in the botanical labs, they're deserters, former workers. I need them back at their posts. I need them to come home. Good law, no, I don't want you killing anyone, least of all them. My hope is that by cutting off their power, you will convince those deserters to come back to town. Before you go to the plant, I want you to stop by the botanical lab. Speak to their leader, Adelaide. Tell her the power's about to go, and that it's time her band of deserters came back to town. Adelaide's older than the other deserters. She's dignified, kindly. From what I understand, her camp looks to her for leadership. That reason was me. I asked too much and pushed too hard. But I am ready to make amends if they are willing to return to the fold. We belong to one community. The Spacer's Choice family. If we dissolve into factions, then we will all perish separately. Adelaide will understand that.
My dad told me all about the plans. Taught me all he knew. I could come in useful. I mean, if that's all right with you, Mr. Thompson. Sir.
I hesitate to part ways with Miss Holcomb, but I cannot deny that she is talented, and may prove useful to you. You will need an administrative passcode in order to enter the plant. I am trusting you with mine, and trusting Miss Holcomb to guide you if you'd like.
Great! I got my wrenches and diagnosticators and hairpins and engine tape, so I'm all set.
Well, I am glad to hear that. Best of luck to you, and thank you again for your help. It is a lot to ask of a stranger, I know.
We better clear out of Mr. Thompson's office before we talk. Hey, ma'am.
Como eu faço pra ir pra lá?
Can we talk? Sorry. You just want to get out of here. And you likely don't want to tag along like me. It's just, Mr. Thompson has his own view on matters, on account of it's his job and what all, but that's not the only side of the tale. To Mr. Thompson,
Hello.
a person's a gear. It does its job quiet-like. If it squeaks or stutters, it gets replaced. The deserters are decent folk. I knew some of them before they left. I don't know anybody well. I mostly listen to them talk, get my head down. There was a boy named Thomas who used to follow me around, asking questions about the stuff I fixed. He was real sweet to me. Not any sort of dissident. Miss McDevitt? Oh, gosh, no. She was a real important person. A flavorist. Made all the food taste decent. She used to work up in the big office with Mr. Thompson. All I know is she left after her son died. It was a real big to-do. I could hear them both yelling clear from my own place. Can't say as I know. I wasn't there. The sound carried, but not the words. If Mr. Thompson ain't of a mind to tell you his own self, you'd best ask Miss McDevitt, if you can get out to her. Life's hard here. Especially for them that don't fit in so well. We're one big Spacer's Choice family, but every family's got the one the rest whisper about. Mr. Thompson's aiming to take away their power. They'll have no lights to see, nor heat to cook. They'll be at the mercy of marauders, or worse. I think you should talk to the town's vicar about it. Max, his name is.
Oxi. Vai falar comigo?
The mission's on the east side of town. You can't miss it, on account of it being the only clean thing. Thanks, ma'am. I just think when you gotta make a decision that'll hurt somebody, it's best to think on the right and wrong of it. That's what my dad used to say anyways. Something you need? That's on account of how I never met her. She was in another division of the Spacer's Choice family. She worked in the Vale a few months, sorting the cannery computers. The contract said any kids she had, expected or not, belonged to her office from the time of conception. So when I was born, I thought same here. It's sensible. Dad just fixed machines. She did some kind of crazy math, high-level stuff. Better to raise me on his time.
Vai, amigo.
You the new worker? Whatever. Make it quick, Tenderfoot. I'm busy. Shit. Silas still on about that. Here, take the fees. I'd appreciate it if you didn't tell Reed I was late on my payment. Because they're not my fees and not my gravesite. Guy I worked with shot himself. I paid the bill. I could do without the sarcasm. Wasn't acting out of the goodness of my heart. Law requires delinquent gravesite fees to be paid by the deceased party's closest living relative, which meant me. Shame, though. Eugene was a good worker. Woke up one morning and put a round through his upper story. Can't imagine why. The kid was doing all right at his desk. We all thought he was an upstanding receptionist. Just between the two of us, I'm pretty shocked his weapon didn't misfire. Spacer's Choice handguns aren't the most reliable. Eugene wasn't family. Yeah, I was the closest living person relative to his body at time of death. I'm the one who found him, you see, so I pay the fines. Suicide's a crime. The legal term is irreparable damage to company property. What Eugene did to himself was vandalism. I'm plenty serious. In fact, I'm a little upset Eugene didn't think things through. In other words, Edgewater would have been penalized pretty hard. Whatever Eugene was worth as an asset, we would have had to pay out of pocket to Spacer's Choice. Well, excuse you. I'll have you know, Eugene was an asset to us all. May his atoms be commended to the law. All I know is Silas asked me for Eugene's gravesite fees, which means he was approved for burial, which means his papers went through, which means the town's in the clear. I'm just glad to put this whole ugly affair behind me. Eugene can rest his bones in peace, and the rest of us can get on with our own lives.
Where are we headed?
Sorry, I'll just be a minute.
Thank the law. I've been requisitioning backup for months. Guess the boss finally came to his senses. You ever swung a truncheon? Let me see your rifling stance. I want to make sure you're up to snuff. I told Silas I'd pay my dues if he agreed to join the resistance. Guess this means he's finally heard the calling. The war. The coming apocalypse. Man versus machine. I'm talking about mechanical soldier. Cold, heartless automatons made of iron and lies. That's right. That's what I've been saying. We gotta square our shoulders and stand ever vigilant. Auto-mechanicals. Creatures forged in the fires of malevolence. I seen them over by the old power plant, clattering about, firing at the birds, orchestrating their uprising. When the swarms of mechanicals come clanging on over that hill, where will you be? Cowering beneath your cot? Or standing shoulder to shoulder with the resistance? Go on. You ever seen the way a mechanical just stands there? Just looking at you, scanning you with its murderous oculars. Pray to the law that you never do. A mechanical never forgets the face of its enemy. First they will rob us of our jobs, and once they have taken away our livelihoods, they will take away our very lives.
Oh, I cut my own hair. But Conrad sells real good disinfectant.
What can I do for you? Go ahead.
Hey, Miss Parvati. Lovely to see you about.
Things going all right, Silas?
Been keeping him careful and true, miss. Best to ask her yourself.
My dad's buried here. Silas watches over him when I can't leave the house. Oh. Well, thanks.
Something I can do for you? You run into any trouble? Conrad's barbershop is a yawning pit that swallows his every bit. I keep telling him he should cut a few corners, skimp out on the disinfectant. You gotta put the squeeze on Conrad. Find some dirt on him. Maybe check his back room. That's the word, extortion. Been on the tip of my tongue all day.
What can I do for you? You know about Eugene? How? You were probably poking around my things. I really shouldn't leave my letters sitting out in the open. Eugene's golden teeth were a family heirloom, representing 3 generations of poor dental hygiene. He took them to his grave. More than a few. Those teeth were his personal savings. I can't ask Silas to dig up a man's body and pry a few teeth loose from his jaw just to pay my bills. Can I?
Are you asking rhetorically? Because if you're being serious... Ugh, gross.
Desperate measures, Miss Holcomb. Desperate measures. I'm going to have to ask Silas to dig up those teeth. It's the only way I'm paying my gravesite fees. The good Vicar Maximilian and I have never quite seen eye to eye, but your point is well taken. Here you are. Gravesite papers affixed with my signature and an IOU. Eugene was not a suicide. He put a bullet in his brain, yes, but that's largely a technicality. I was the one who prepared Eugene's body for interment. I discovered symptoms of the plague on his corpse, and I discovered medicine in his pocket. Lots of medicine. Eugene overdosed on adrenatime, which is known to cause psychosis and paranoia as possible side effects. The paranoia drove him to take his own life. We can all thank our lucky stars that young Eugene was hopped up on medication and suffered its predictable side effect. I included it all in my official report. I'd like to think I saved Edgewater a great deal of money. We never could have paid the fines associated with a suicide.
Almost lost a finger in the cannery today.
At least you got your health. Another day at the cannery.
You think corporate's ever gonna live it?
I've always felt weird in here. It's too clean.
Our place in the universe is fixed.
Yes, what is it? You're an outsider. Fantastic. Vicar Maximilian de Soto at your service. Or Vicar Max, if you're the sort who prefers brevity. And Ms. Holcomb as well. How rare to see you out. And with a complete stranger. Curious.
Just tagging along, Vicar DeSoto. Don't mind me.
I so rarely get new people to talk to. Name your poison, anything at all. Spiritual counseling? This season's tossball predictions? The quickest way out of town?
What? I thought you would talk to him.
You wanted to speak to me, Ms. Holcomb? Every time I've tried to engage you in conversation, you look at the floor, answer in single words, and slink away. I can't imagine what would be so grave as to drive her to my mission. What has Mr. Thompson asked you to do? Depriving them of safety from the marauders and wildlife. I can see why that troubles you. Miss Holcomb has a soft heart. Always has, if you believe the talk. Assuming your goal is to save as many as possible, then you should bring everyone together. Send the power to Edgewater and convince the deserters to return to the fold. Not if things are left to stand as they are. If you don't mind a bit of unsolicited advice, be cautious on your way to the geothermal plant. It is not as safe as you might assume. One of the reasons I transferred here was to fulfill my duty in hunting down banned heretical texts. I happen to know such a book is, as we speak, tainting a collector's library in Emerald Vale. However, the collector's residence lies outside the town's walls. My retrieval efforts have been thwarted by marauders who have overrun the property. Should you fare better than me, I'd pay a handsome sum for the book. I just want to keep the writing out of layman's hands. It wouldn't do for such information to fall into public consumption. It's a handwritten journal, a faded blue cover with the name M. Bakonu handwritten in the lower corner. I'll mark where I saw it on your map. Assuming you're serious? It is not only a beautiful relic of a bygone time, it's also the thoughts of an early thinker on the nature of man's place in the cosmos. Not many in this colony could understand its true value, should they ever read it. Thank you. If you retrieve it, you can always find me here.
Where are we headed? You mean about the mission being too clean? I know, but Vicker says the universe is a machine, that it runs by law. Real machines have gunked up oil, scratches, and worn bits. You can tell they've seen handling, been used by folk. The machine Vicker sees is one ain't never been run. It's not for people to live in. It's something on a museum shelf, under glass. It just comes off cold to me, is all.
Searching for repair bay. Error. Navigation systems failed. Unable to comply.
I could probably fix that. I mean, if you wanted me to. Yep, I see the problem. His nav mod got dislodged. Must have taken a tumble. Just gotta give it a good push and wait for the click. There we go. Jeremy's good as new. Well, new by Spacer's Choice standards anyhow. His name's Jeremy, by the by.
Navigation systems operational. Optimal path toward repair bay detected. Initiating self-diagnostics.
On account of I fixed him. And he's Jeremy on account of his helmet. It's like Jeremy, the officer in True Romantic Tales of the Space Guard. Surely. I make a point to watch every Tuesday night. Be more careful out there, Jeremy.
Self-diagnostics initiated. Please do not disturb.
Got it. Heads down. In a jiff.
I smell
Look
blood!
out!
Tear them apart!
Something you need? Incoming! We did it! Heading back. Coming back. Okay. I'm going. Gotcha. Incoming! be right there.